Yo, what's going on, everybody? Need for Beans over here. In this video, I'll be showing you guys how I create some of my best beats using Splice and FL Studio. Now, with this method, you don't need to know music theory, you don't need to know notes, composition, melodies, percussion, drums, none of that. It's very simple, it's straight to the point. Even though I can use the piano roll and compose melodies, I prefer to just use pre-made samples and just mix them together and just focus more on mastering and mixing the track rather than composing melodies. So in this video, I'll try to show you guys my workflow when it comes to starting new beats. The way I go about it, when I first try and make a new beat, I usually go by the instrument. So I go to my samples and I go by the instrument, and a lot of times I'll start with either strings or keys or guitar. It really depends. But in this case, we'll do something different. We're going to start with brass and woodwinds. You go to the instruments, most of the time I go for the loops, right? And BPM range, I just leave everything alone and I go down to where it says similar on Splice, because everything above here I already downloaded and I have used. In this video, I would like to use new samples I haven't used before and see what happens. So I also know that my music is mostly in the 140, 150 BPM, because I mostly do rap, trap, UK drill, that type of things. So I'm already gonna be, as I look down for those samples, I'm gonna be paying attention to the BPM. So here we have a 140 BPM melodic loop. Let's check it out. I closed everything here. Let's go ahead and open up the playlist, and you can just like this take it and drag it over to here. So the other thing I do is I set the BPM to be the sample and route it to a track. And one thing I want to mention, that what I used to do was turn down the track from here, but that's not what you want to do. You actually want to turn down the track through this knob. Alright. So everything sounds good here. So we want something kind of a lower range sound, if that makes sense. So we're gonna go and select the G minor. So now we're looking at all the brass and woodwind loops in G minor. Now I'm actually feeling something like a string. So let's go to strings, loops, G minor. Let's see what we got. That actually sounds pretty good. And I recognize this sample provider, Hard AF. It's actually pretty good. So this is 135, so we want to make sure to fit it to tempo. So I want to make sure it's at 140. Same thing, route to a track and then turn it down through here. Let's take a listen. So other than some problems with mixing, it does sound decent. If I were to actually mix it, it would sound a lot better, but I'm not going to worry about that for now. Now what we're going to go for is a drum loop. Now that's actually the easy part. I do have a lot of drum loops that I already used before, but for this beat we want only new ones. So let's start looking through these drums. Sounds okay. Now, I usually don't go for house and tech stuff like this, but this sounds like an interesting drum sample, so I'm just gonna give it a shot. A lot of times it's just worth it to give it a shot. So first thing we do is fit it to tempo, and let's see how that sounds. Again, don't forget to route the track, turn it down, and let's check it out. Interesting sounding drum beat. we will leave it for now, but let's also try a trap type drum beat. Now this sounds decent. So we can download, boom, drag it over. Now it's 150, we're at 140, so we're gonna go ahead and fit to tempo. And then the same thing, route to a mixer track, turn it down. Let's check a look. Sounds a lot better. Now we can also combine them. Control A, Control C, Control B. And then we're just gonna delete. And now we can kind of take a look and see which one we like better. So I definitely like the first one. Now we can go to the same drum sounds volume, I guess, whatever you want to call it. Go to the loops and find similar drums from the same sample we can replace. Now this sounds interesting. Wow. Now we can try going to this fast-paced drums right here that we had earlier. So let's see what that would be like. Now here it looks like the melody kind of wants to change, I'm assuming. I don't know, it feels like it. So what we're gonna do is go to instruments, and this time I want some keys. G minor, because we want to fit our previous melody. So G minor, BPM, we'll just give it a range of like 100 to, you know, 160, something like that. It's decent. I want to see what it sounds like. See if fit to tempo. If it doesn't display the right number, type it in BPM 120, because it says right there, and it will scale it perfectly. Doesn't sound like it even fits, I'm not gonna lie. Now what would help is if we added a riser. Now I do want a cymbal or a crash. So something like this could work. That's fine. There we go. Same thing. Don't forget to route to the track and lower the volume. Now this, I don't necessarily like. I do want an 808. So let's get an 808. We're gonna go for loops. This seems pretty simple. I can also see if there's a variation of that. It looks like we just found ourselves a piano sample. Just kind of chopping it up, seeing what fits where. One thing that still bothers me is the drum loop. Just try it out. Why does it seem like it's going too fast? You know what I mean? This one just seems like it's ahead a little bit. Something's weird going on. Now you're gonna do something crazy. Bam. Switcheroo on the switcheroo. gonna mix it real quick. If you're trying to show off, you could just color code it like this. What a terrible sample. If it just like kind of doesn't sound right, it doesn't sound right. Alright, so now that sounds like a mess, but check out the thank you guys all for watching this video. I hope you learned something today. I mean, this is my workflow with Splice. I hope you enjoyed the beat. Need for Beans out. Peace.